Hello. Let me make sure this is working right. We are in it. Welcome to another night dive with Jetthro here. How are you guys? Hello. Hi. It's another night. June 12th, 2023. It's been a pretty wild month for me, really. But the last couple of days have been just a fun trip to work on and work through and experience. A lot of really cool things that have happened, and just a lot of really tough things too. So I'm going to dive into some of that and see where the night goes. So let's put on some scuba gear. Let's go. So before I get into my brain, I'm going to do a moment of gratitude here. And gratitude for me is so tricky. It's such a tricky little thing for me to grasp, because I just take things for granted, and I've never really had to be grateful. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's just an emotion that is hard for me to really capture myself. I mean, I'm always grateful for the kind of basic things, like I have a roof over my head. I can pay rent for the roof. I have a job, so I can pay rent for the roof, and I can go down to the grocery store and I can just buy food. I don't have to scavenge for it. I don't have to hunt for it. Anything and everything I want is within a 10-minute drive. It's within 10 minutes. I can get in my car, which I can also pay for because of the job that I have, and just drive 10 minutes and go get all the food I want. No questions asked. When it rains, I have no fear of water coming through and me getting wet, and my wife and daughter getting rained on. I have no fear of that. I have, gratitude towards indoor plumbing. That is such a basic thing of gratitude that, it's just, I know I take it for granted, but it also at the same time is so basic in the terms of gratitude, because it's just like, of course, like I'm grateful for a toilet and a shower and running water. I can just turn the water on. My mom is Filipino. My dad's American. And I would go to the Philippines. They would, all fly. The three of us would fly to the Philippines every 2 years or so, give or take. So I've been over there 8 times, maybe less. But my family lives in a really kind of remote part of the Philippines, and they don't have running water. You have to pump it. For everything, everything, for a shower, for literally you have to pump water into a bucket and then you flush the toilet that way. For water for doing your dishes, you have to pump it from the sink. To brush your teeth, you have to pump it not from the sink, but you have to pump it from the spigot. It's pretty crazy to think that, like, I can just turn the water on and it's on. Hot or cold, doesn't matter. And I can pay for it. I can, we have a society here that it sucks. I don't like it, but like it requires that you have to pay. You have to trade your time to work a job so that you can pay to have those things. But I can do that. And I can have my wife and my kid. She can do that. They can do that too. So, okay, all of that, I say all of that to say that I feel like those are pretty like basic gratitude things. Like, of course, like everybody is grateful for that kind of thing. So whenever I get into these like gratitudes at night, I try to think of something deeper, and it almost always feels awkward. And so I don't know, I'm always grateful to my family and the support I have. Like that seems pretty basic too. And so, I don't know. For now, I'm just going to go with what I was saying for my gratitude. I don't have to force something. I don't have to will something into existence if nothing's there. I'd like to, but I'm really just grateful to have all those things I was saying, to just have a roof over my head and have the ability to not have to hunt or scavenge for food. Anyway, okay, so that's fine. The next part of the next segment of my live stream here. So the things I'm trying to do are very challenging. Honestly, anything in life that's like worth it is probably challenging. It's probably there. I've always heard people say like, if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's like, yeah, cool. I've heard cliche things like that, and I've kind of always been like, what does that even, like, what are you even trying to tell me? Like, it's never like hit with me. It's never resonated with me. But like now this mindset I have is like, yeah, it fucking sucks. Yeah, I'm trying to run a marathon, just a marathon in general. And I could, honestly, I could probably do one tomorrow. I really probably could, but it would suck. It would take like 5 hours, probably. And it would be painful, and it would hurt, and it'd be pretty brutal. But I want to, I have a goal, and I have something in mind that I want to shoot for. And it's fucking difficult. It's hard. It is not easy to do that. It's not easy to learn Spanish. It's not. The things I want to do and get out of my life, out of my existence, out of the things that I experience in this realm of the world, whatever it is. Whether you believe in an afterlife or not, it doesn't matter. This is the existence that we get to have, and each person's is unique. Each person's is different. I get this one, and I'm now choosing to not just lay on my couch. I am now choosing to not just eat pizza all fucking day and drink whiskey all day and lay around and not do anything. And then, look back at my life and say, man, I sure drank a lot of whiskey. Jet's just a connoisseur of whiskey, I guess. Like, that's not going to be my life. I'm not going to do that. But the things I want to do are fucking hard. Yeah, so, yeah, that's kind of my mantra here. It's essentially just a quick reminder of that. So, sorry. going to jump into the night dive itself. And man, yesterday, here's the thing. Yesterday, I did a run. It was Sunday, the 11th, and I did a run. Well, first, I woke up, and it had been a few days of a downward slope, a downward slide into my old mindset. It had been a slow is that my cat? My cat, everybody. It had just been a slow descent into my old life. And I woke up on Sunday morning and felt immediately like I had in the past, if that makes sense. Like, I woke up and, like, it was the same exact feelings as before I started running and before I had this mental shift. And I was like, what the fuck? What happened? I've been busting my ass running, taking videos, running longer distances, working out, doing all of that for 3 months. And it just, I just wake up one day and all of a sudden here I am again. Oh, it frustrated me. It made me so mad. 'Cause it just, like, it felt like I just woke up and all of my hard work that I'd put into my mind and all of the hard work I put into my body was gone. I was like, man, it's 3 months just fucking washed down the drain. Like, what happened? And I had to work through the anger. I had to reevaluate and, like, live the last couple of days through my mind, I had to relive those days and say, what went wrong? I had to, like, visualize. I had to literally visualize, like, okay, what went wrong? Okay, well, I started making choices, like drinking whiskey more and more and more. I'm fine drinking whiskey. Like I'm fine with drinking whiskey, but like the Thursday before, the Friday before, the Saturday before, I had been drinking more and more and more and more. I was like, okay, how did that happen? Okay, well, it was probably this decision. It's probably this choice. It's probably here when I saw it and I just took a sip and rationalized or justified that it was okay to take a sip right now, even though it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I can take just a little sip here because it's fine. Because it doesn't affect me. It just helps me feel a little bit better and blah, 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 fucking chatter. And before I fucking know it, I'm waking up Sunday after a night of drinking a lot. I'm like, what the fuck happened? So that happened. And I had, like I said, I had to, like, relive a lot of those days and a lot of those choices and just get real with myself, just get honest with myself and say, dude, one of your vices, one of the things that you are going to have to work through is drinking. Like, you just like to drink whiskey. And it could be habitual at this point because I've spent years drinking whiskey. Or it could be genetic because my grandfather he literally died at 54 from alcoholism. It could be that. But, it in either case, it doesn't matter. I like drinking whiskey, but I know if I do it over the top, I know where that path leads me. So in getting real with myself and getting honest with myself, every time I look at a bottle, I have to say, is it worth drinking right now? Is it worth drinking a sip? Even though it's not going to do much, is it worth doing that right now? And, what is it? Yeah, today. It's been fine. I haven't had any. I haven't even had the, thought of having any. I could, I'm sure, if someone's watching this in the future or, watching that, whatever, I'm sure it's probably easy to say, dude, just throw all your bottles out. That's not fucking hard. Just throw all your alcohol out. I genuinely don't feel the need to do that. I genuinely, it's not a problem of alcoholism. It's a problem of I have goals that I want to get to, and my brain the last couple of days has just been getting in the way. My subconscious brain and my old habitual brain has just been getting in the way. So more than anything, it's a how strong mentally am I really? Is it, can I have 3 bottles of whiskey in the house and drink them at appropriate times when I've earned them, rather than, it's 4:00 on a Wednesday and I kind of want a sip. That seems like, to me, it's a mental weakness that I just need to in that moment take a breath and make a conscious decision to not. And it's fine. That seems like that's a struggle that I'm working through. And I actually, you know what? I didn't even mean to talk about alcohol or anything like that tonight. I meant to talk about how discipline. So maybe that is something that I need to kind of address, at least just address further and dive further into. Because maybe, honestly, I went through that whole spiel of just throw your alcohol away. Maybe I need to do that. I don't know. But I just need to dive further and get more real with myself about where that is, it seems like. Hang on, this song is bothering me. Yeah, okay, let's do this. Okay, well, that's fun. So I meant to talk more about how discipline is tough, and then that came up, so we'll see. But yeah, discipline itself and consistency, man. Being absolutely consistent with yourself. Something that was ringing through my head Sunday. I did a run. I did almost 3 miles. And the whole time, what was ringing through my head was, dude, you just have to hold yourself to a higher standard. The old life you lived is no longer acceptable. You just can't do that. You know where that path leads to, and it's not one that feels fulfilling at all. It's not one that will give you any joy at all. You have to keep pushing through, and you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. And I think what I mean by that is the discipline and the consistency. I have to run more. I have to learn Spanish more. These are the things that I've chosen that I want to do. I've been wanting to learn Spanish for a long time, and I've just now seen the benefits mentally and physically of what running does. Those have to be incorporated into my life, and I can't not do them. Because if I don't do them, I just end up back on the couch. eating pizza and drinking whiskey. There's nothing wrong with eating pizza and drinking whiskey and laying on the couch. There's nothing wrong with that. The amount that I was doing it, there was a problem. For myself, at least. Again, I know where that path leads, and I don't want that. So, discipline itself and the consistency itself, like, you know, I want those things, but it's hard. It is fucking difficult. Talk about going back into my mantra. Like, it is hard. So there's that. I feel fired up right now. I don't know, man. Just talking through some stuff like this just gets me. Sometimes it just gets me fired up, dude. So that's kind of part one. That's kind of segment one. That's how I was feeling yesterday. Now I want to shift into today because I had one of the craziest moments or experiences I've ever had. And I know that just me saying that, it just, no, like the people watching this who don't know me, like that doesn't mean anything. That, you know, that doesn't mean anything to you, which is fine. But it was, I can't explain it. I'm going to try though. So I've gone in and out of phases of doing Wim Hof breathing. And if you don't know what that is, it's essentially taking a lot of inward, like in breaths and less out breaths. Because what you're trying to do, there's oxygen in the air, of course, and we breathe the oxygen. And essentially what you're trying to do is just you're trying to capture more of that oxygen and essentially literally fill your lungs and fill your body with more oxygen. And and then just what you do with that energy or oxygen or whatever, like whatever you do with it, it's kind of, you know, like Wim Hof. They call him the Iceman because he holds a lot of like world records for like running the longest distance without shoes on a glacier, or like in the snow mountains, or on ice or whatever, things like that. Like he holds a record for holding his breath underwater in the ice. I don't know. He holds a lot of records like that, but he does it by doing that, by pulling in more oxygen. I'm not liking this playlist. It's distracting me. He essentially does it by pulling in more oxygen than normal. So anyway, I've spent about 2 years. I had a friend in Dallas, Brad. Brad, if you ever see this, thanks for showing me Wim Hof. So I've been off and on doing like guided Wim Hof meditations just from like YouTube. And he has an app too that I've kind of like dicked around with a little bit, but it's been really nice. And I've had moments where like my body kind of gets tingly and my hands kind of go numb, and you know, I can hold my breath for like 3 minutes in like the in breath and the out breath. And then I always feel so relaxed after. So I'll do it in bed. I'll do the Wim Hof breathing while I'm like in bed about to go to sleep. And I'll do that. It's like 10 minutes, and then I'm asleep instantly. I'm asleep, and it's amazing. But anyway, I haven't been doing it since I got to Richmond. I haven't been doing it. And I'm signed up to this boxing class. Okay, it's like this boxing gym. And they have, like, obviously boxing classes, but they have, like, strength and conditioning classes, which is what really drew me in, because I'm trying to run a marathon. I'm trying to run a lot of distances. So I thought, if I strengthen, and train my body in that sense, it's going to help. And they have, like, athletic stretching classes. They have trail running classes. But they have this one that they only do twice a week. And it's mobility and breathing is what it's labeled as. So, like, what the fuck is that? I'm going to go check it out. I'm going to go see what it is. Doesn't hurt. So I went to it, and I go into the gym, and the lights are off in the back. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, cool. And this old hippie lady, this old hippie lady is setting up, like, candles and a Tibetan singing bowl, and she's sitting on a yoga mat. And there's one other person in there, and they're talking, and I smelled like sage, I think, burning. I don't know exactly what it was. She said it was something, but I can't remember what it was. And I smell it burning. I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be dope. Okay, let's see what this is all about. So we get into, like, she explains, the breathing thing that we're going to do. She's like, okay, you're going to take 2 breaths in and then 1 breath quickly out. And you're going to go 1 through your belly and then immediately 1 through your chest and then quickly out. And you're going to do that for 7 minutes. And then we'll take, like, a quick, like, we'll hold all the breath in. We'll take a deep breath in and we'll hold it in for a minute or as long as you can. And then we'll breathe all of it out and we'll hold it there for as long as you can too. And we'll do that 3 times. And I just can't. I cried like 4 or 5 times. Like, when I first started doing it, I was laying on the floor and I was breathing, and I was probably literally a minute into it. And I was laughing. I was like, this is the craziest thing I've experienced already. Like 1 minute into it. It's like, this is the craziest thing, because my body, my hands, like, went completely numb, like, that fast. And, like, my hands went numb, and like they were pinched together like this. And I could not, while I was doing the breathing, I couldn't even do that. I don't know what was happening. She was saying before we did that she's like, this could happen. And she's like, it's just like your nervous system, like, holding on, and your brain, like, holding on to something. And she's like, you'll eventually learn that you need to let go of whatever it is. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm holding on. What am I holding on to? My brain is holding on to something so subconsciously that it's doing that. Anyway, so I literally cried like 4 times. The first one, like I said, I was laughing within the first minute, and then I just, like, tears. It was just tears coming down my cheeks, like my face. It was just, it was crazy. And so in the second round of it, I just started thinking about, like, other animals and other beings, and how I know this is, like, spiritual and blah blah blah. I don't care. You know what? I don't fucking care. It got really spiritual for me. It got, like, I had, like, a mental, like, vision almost, not vision, but like my mind went to how animals are sentient beings, and they have their own choices, and they have the things they're wanting to do. And, you know, every single human is the same way. Like, we all have, like, our things that we're wanting to do, and we all deserve the freedom to live the life we want to live. And the animals do too. Like, we all have, you know, we all want to live the life we want to live, and we deserve that. We have that. Like, we should have that right, and we deserve that as humans. As a sentient being, we have that. And I just started thinking about that. It just kind of came into my mind, and I started crying again. It was a crazy experience. And the entire time, my whole body was numb and tingling. It was like vibrating. Like, literally, like just vibrating. Like, and I can't, like, you know how, like, if you're, you know, you wake up on you fall asleep on your arm, and you wake up and, you know, your arm is all tingly. Like, that's kind of how it felt. That's throughout my whole body, just by doing this breathing, just by breathing. And like, she kept saying, she was guiding us through it, and she kept saying, like, you know, you're in a safe place. Let go of the fear, whatever fear you have, let go of it, and trust that you are strong enough. Trust that you are brave enough. Trust that you have the will. And I'm like, fuck. Because my brain just, like, even in that, my brain wanted me to stop. My brain was like, dude, this is too hard. My brain was like, this is not good. You're tingling. You're literally, like, vibrating. You're literally going numb. Like, this can't be good for you. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. And, like, she just kept saying that. And I'm like, no, this is supposed to happen. This is fun. And even if it's not, just keep feeling it. Just keep experiencing it. Just keep going. I'm not going to die. Just keep going. And man, it was wild. So we did the 3 rounds of breathing, 7 minutes. And after the third one, she said, oh, okay, just stay there and just feel what's happening in your body. And I have no idea how long she didn't talk for. I literally, it could have been 20 minutes. It could have been 2. Like, I genuinely have no idea. That's the craziest thing, is I have no idea how long we were just staying there for. And I was just laying on the ground in my body, like, so in my body. Like, I've never been that far inside, like, mentally that far inside of my body, because I had like a moment the other day where, I think it was like a week ago. I'm so glad I'm talking through this, because I would have forgotten that. I had a moment where I realized that your existence, like what you perceive and what you see, is either in your conscious brain, your active brain, where you're, like, you know, focused and you're, like, doing what you want to do, or you're in your, like, subconscious brain, where you're essentially an autopilot, and it's like you're driving, and you're just getting from point A to point B, and your mind is taking your body there, but you aren't really there. You're either in those two, or there is a third. Your body is you're sensing your body. Like your body is in control of your perception or your experience or your moments. Like if I don't know, like if I were to grab something, as soon as I touch it, God, this fucking thing here. As soon as I touch it, the receptors here are sending signals to my brain saying that I'm touching this. But as soon as I do it, that's my body. That's my body being the main perception of my existence. Man, I really hope I'm making sense, because it does make sense to me, and I'm gonna have to keep talking through some of this, probably a lot more. But essentially, what I realized was there are 3 different moments of perception, and your subconscious, your main conscious brain, your subconscious brain, or your body can be the main driving, the primary driving force in whatever moment that is. But there is a way, and there is a moment where you can slow things down enough that all 3, you can be in all 3 at once. And I had that moment before I was going to sleep one night. And I've never felt so peaceful. Like I've never felt that calm before. Until this morning. And what I'm trying to say is the reason I brought that up is because this morning, in that time frame after the breathing techniques, I have never felt so calm before. I've never been viewing the world from inside my body as hard as I was at that point, at that moment, in those moments. So, God, that was a struggle. That was fun to relive. That was a struggle to kind of get through, but that was kind of fun to relive. I'm very excited to do it again. But I say all of that to kind of say that there's still so much growth that I can experience, and it only comes through by being disciplined, by being consistent, by doing whatever I'm doing over and over again. Because I had that moment this morning, and I thought, well, that was cool. I'm probably never going to have that again. And then I was like, well, why? Like, why would I never have that again? And like I've had a past life where I'd have a cool experience, and then I wouldn't continue doing it, and then I would move on to something else, and that's why I thought that. But I don't know why I wouldn't do that again. They do it twice a week. At minimum, I can do it 2 times a week. Minimum. I could definitely be doing, like, she sent me a bunch of videos that I could do that are guided breathing. I could do them every night if I wanted to. And I probably should. You know what she said? She said breathing is the first thing you do when you're born, and it's the last thing you do when you die. And I was like, fuck. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it is. So, why wouldn't I, like, at least do 10 minutes of that practice every night, I can absolutely experience that again. But yeah, so anyway, discipline and being consistent to doing whatever I want to do is it's hard. It's hard. And so that's what I want to kind of end with. Yeah, this was kind of a wild one. I know. Before I end, please do go check out all the running that Ty is doing and all the videos that he's doing. He's doing some incredible work, sincerely and genuinely. Like, he's training for a 62-mile ultra marathon in August, and the level of detail that he's putting into his runs and his training is, Ty, if you see this, I'm sure that you think it's just kind of, basic and standard, and that you can raise the bar, and I know you can too. I know you can push harder, and I know you can be even more detailed, but I'm just saying, like, the level that you're at now is like you should be proud of yourself for that, and the execution of where you're at, because that's it is, because I want to run an ultra marathon at some point too, and it is just so incredible that I have your videos to look at and watch in getting into the mindset of what it is actually going to take to do that. So anyway, go check out his videos. Go check out some of my other night dives. There's a lot of mental stuff that's going on that, maybe you'll get some help in clarity and some things that you're thinking about or trying to work through as well. And if not, I'm gonna keep doing these things anyway. I appreciate the love and support, as always, but I'm gonna keep doing these. These night dives are so much fun for me. They help me clear and process so many things in my brain. So I'm gonna quit talking, because I tend to do that. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.